Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back from Easter break. I hope everyone had a wonderful Easter, albeit very different for the majority of the nation and the world, I'm sure. It was interesting to see all of the families gathering in different ways for their Easter celebrations. So I'm glad to see all of you back to our 3 o'clock briefing today. It has been a very full Monday. I'm sure it has for all of you as well. We kind of hit the ground running here at the department with this week's list of tasks and things to do. So I appreciate you joining us again. So again, we are doing our darndest to make sure that educational services return to normal whenever that may be, and continue to hope to assist and guide our school districts with data-informed decisions so all students can continue to learn while keeping all North Dakota citizens safe and well. A couple of updates that I want to update you on regarding child nutrition. The U.S. Department of Agriculture provided a nationwide waiver regarding the Community Eligibility Provision, CEP, reporting. USDA issued several policy memos over the weekend to clarify questions related to the operation of child nutrition programs during this COVID school closure. Included with this information was the confirmation that schools with remaining school year 1920 fresh fruit and vegetable program funds will be able to utilize these funds to continue to provide program during the school closures. The Child Nutrition Office will send out additional information regarding the fresh fruit and vegetable program and other updates from USDA to all school food service personnel, authorized representatives, and record keepers tomorrow, April 14th. So please be on the lookout to that. Have your school food service representatives and your record keepers be alert to information and updates from USDA that will be arriving tomorrow. This guidance regarding the ability to utilize funds from the fresh fruit and vegetable program is a change in direction than original guidance that was provided. So I really wanted to make all of you alert to that. So just to reiterate, that schools with remaining 1920 fresh fruit and vegetable program funds will be able to utilize these funds to continue to provide programs during school closures. There is another call with our special education director scheduled for tomorrow morning. I hope to participate in that, but again, we continue to stay alert to and abreast of all the needs that are occurring with our special education unit, their directors, their teachers, their students, and their families. The parent group call, as I mentioned last week, went very well. They have reached out to Jerry Tevens to have an additional meeting with her that she'll be setting up. So working on logistics for that next call. Important to have the communication. I think it's a need for all of us as we are in these uncertain times to have at least the certainty of a time to connect with each other, to be able to answer questions, share ideas and success stories, and share thoughts and areas of improvement. I want to touch a little bit on AP exam. Students should be receiving emails from College Board today informing them of their AP exam schedule. So again, students should be receiving emails from College Board today informing them of the AP exam schedule. AP coordinators should check student emails sent to College Board to be sure they allow students to receive these external emails about the exams. If the email the particular email that the student has doesn't let them receive external emails, the student would need to be contacted to change their address to a personal email that will allow the AP emails with assessment information to reach these students. There are course-specific webinars for AP teachers available. So again, there are course-specific webinars for AP teachers that will be available. Links to these webinars are under the Assessment tab of the Distance Learning Teams link. So again, under the Assessment tab of the Distance Learning Teams link. Due to the changes in the economic status of several families, the deadline for AP coordinators to indicate whether student fee reduction status has been extended to May 26th. So again, DPI has extended the deadline to May 26th for all AP coordinators to indicate whether or not that student or one of their students should have a fee reduction status in order to receive an AP exam for free. Talking a little bit about AP Summer Institutes that are listed on the AP Professional Development event calendar. AP Summer Institutes will have the option to deliver sessions online in the summer of 2020. So again, AP Summer Institute, some of you have been attendees at the AP Summer Institute in the past. Many of you plan to attend AP Summer Institutes this summer. So for your information, they will have the option to deliver these sessions online this summer of 2020. More details will be added to the calendar as soon as they become available. Our team is in the process, as you know, of gathering resources and developing a resource center. So the team that has been working on that has been refining the process that will be used to place resources that do not meet the OER Commons criteria onto our resource center. So again, last week you'll remember that I informed you that the DPI team was working on a process to vet certain resources and materials and lessons that are suitable to the North Dakota OER Commons site, but they also found valuable resources that did not quite meet the North Dakota OER Commons criteria, but were valuable resources to share among educators. So they're continuing to refine that process. The proposed resources will go through a two-stage vetting process. The first stage would consist of a ticket that provides initial information about the resource. And once a resource moves past the initial criteria, it will move into the second vetting stage in which the resource is reviewed by a diverse group of team members at the state level from the applicable specialty office within DPI. This team is in the process of applying the vetting process to numerous resources to learn how this process will work. We are using this operationalizing process to create a process that we can use long past recovery of COVID-19 and create a place and an arena that we've long desired to have in North Dakota for valuable resources and a one-stop shop for North Dakota that includes our EduTech personnel, our REAs, and the multiple fabulous work that's being done throughout our state, but albeit in very disjointed arenas at this point. So hoping to make that a little bit more efficient and effective as is the call from our legislature. I want to talk a little bit about the federal waivers and the CARES Act relief funding. So as you know, the CARES Act Relief and Economic Security Act was signed by President Trump on March 27th. This is an emergency funding relief package, not an education stimulus package. So again, I wanted to reiterate that. DPI has created a section on the CARES Act relief funding website. So we have a specific website with a ton of Q&A, a PowerPoint created by Lori Matsky and her team. So that there's a PowerPoint, there's a ton of Q&A, and there's some list of ideas and use of funds. Tomorrow, I want to announce that DPI is providing the first of several trainings on these CARES Act funds. So Tuesday, April 14, from 10 to 11, DPI will host the first of several trainings on the use of these funds. There will be an opportunity for questions through the use of the questions feature in this Teams environment. In addition, questions can be submitted in advance to Lori Matsky, which will be answered during the event. Please know that the latest update that I received from the U.S. Education Department from Secretary DeVos and Assistant Secretary Frank Brogan last week was that they would have the guidelines and the application to states from their office coming soon. So I and many of my other colleagues across the states in the nation are urging the U.S. Education Department to get that to us sooner rather than later. Secretary DeVos had exactly 30 days from the signing of this CARES Act, so exactly 30 days from March 27th, to get that information out to us, out to the states from them. We are narrowing in on that deadline, and we hope that we will have that this week. It is my commitment to you and our commitment to our schools and leaders that we will have a very, very short turnaround time to get our applications submitted and those funds into North Dakota. As you'll learn tomorrow, and we've said before, we'll expect about $33 million to come to North Dakota for CARES relief funding. And that formula that we receive this money will be based on the Title I formula coming into North Dakota, and we were required by the CARES Act to deliver that out on the Title I funding formula to our schools. But it does not need to have the constraints or the restrictions of Title I funding approval areas for Title I funding. Please tune in tomorrow for more information on that to the training, during the training from 10 to 11. I want to talk about the USED fiscal waivers in a little bit more detail. North Dakota asked for 6 waivers to receive more flexibility for you to use your funds and other requirements covered under the ESEA Act. So these waivers include, we asked for and received to waive the 15% carryover limitation for Title I Part A funds. We've extended the period of availability for prior year fiscal funds for Title I, Title II, Title III Parts A, Title IV Parts A and B, and Title V Part B programs. I should also say that it was Title I Parts A through D. Also included are the McKinney-Vento Children and Homeless Youth Program. We also were approved to waive the Title IV needs assessment to justify the use of these funds. We asked for and received the ability to waive the content-specific spending requirements for Title IV. We are able to waive the spending restrictions on technology infrastructure under Title IV, and we were given the permission to waive the definition of professional development, which might otherwise limit the availability to quickly train school leaders on pedagogy of distance learning techniques. DPI received approval of our waivers on April 6th. We also want to let you know that U.S. Department of Ed requires states to provide all districts and interested parties in the state with notice and a reasonable opportunity to comment on the waiver request. So this is done post-approval. Generally, when we ask for waivers, we are required to gather input and suggestions prior to approval. The Department of Education understood the urgency of getting these waivers approved to North Dakota and have allowed us to collect these comments and suggestions after its approval. But please still weigh in if you so choose. Family engagement. Interest in family engagement and family school partnerships is probably our fastest growing area at the department. Our Facebook group that was launched on Friday, specifically for North Dakota parents and family members to share ideas, suggestions, trials and tribulations, as well as triumphs, it was opened up on Friday, and as of this morning, we had 83 members. Please share out the opportunity that with all of your friends and family to join these Facebook groups. I think we're all in this together. It takes on a whole new meaning when you are a family member trying to telecommute full-time for your boss and be the facilitator of your child or your grandchild's learning. So these Facebook groups were the brainchild of the state superintendent's family cabinet, and our hope is to provide opportunities and conversations around the state for families to support each other. We continue to meet with our family cabinet weekly for sharing success stories and resources for families. And there is a future opportunity to expand groups to have deeper conversations about grade span specific content for supporting families. A K-12 alliance team is in the process of being developed. We have now 7 confirmed members. This is a diverse group of people that we are hoping that will unite North Dakota behind K-12 public education for our students. Members of this alliance include administrators, district level administrators, building leaders, teachers, students, Head Start, preschool, students themselves, family members, and the list goes on and on. These members have expressed excitement about this opportunity to build and share a unified message. I think one thing that North Dakota knew and was leading on going into the COVID-19 event was that families are our children's first and most influential teachers. And without schools and without families working together, our children will not achieve their fullest potential. So I think North Dakota was leading on this going in, and I believe we will continue to lead on this unification and alliance that we're forming to be better on the other side of this COVID event. I do want to announce one more time, because they are the heroes among us. The North Dakota Teacher of the Year deadline has been extended to May 8th, 2020. So please consider nominating someone, applying yourself to celebrate the work of a classroom teacher in our schools across the state. With that, I want to end on this kind of wintry, blowy, snowy day across North Dakota, at least in western North Dakota. I'm going to end my day with you, my time with you, spinning off of my Winnie the Pooh A.A. Milne quote at the end of the week yesterday, or excuse me, end of the week last week. And it's Pooh and Piglet walking along in some snow is the graphic that I'm looking at. And Pooh's question to Piglet is, "What day is it?" Piglet replies, "It's today," squeaked Piglet. "My favorite day," said Pooh. Let us all embrace today what it is, for enjoy, celebrate, and make sure that we take care of each other. Thank you so much, and we will talk again tomorrow.